Hi, I'm Rachel, and this is my Mock Reads 2025 video covering general/literary fiction. So, Mock Reads is my response to the Goodreads Choice Awards and basically a desire to read a little bit of front list, even though technically a lot of the titles that appeal to me won't be buzzy enough to be in contention for the Goodreads Choice Awards. That's going to come up, I guess, in October, November this year. But some will, possibly. I do miss the times when they had the write-in, first round of the prize, because that would be a chance for all of us to, say specifically what we enjoyed the most, but I think that was too much work for the staff of Goodreads to deal with, of trying to aggregate what the favorites would be, and ultimately the favorites overall, the ones that would make it to the next round would be the buzziest books anyway. So anyway, that's what all of this is about. Mostly this is about me setting a reading list for myself that I hope to complete by the end of October, or shortly before the end of October, so I could, do my own tier ranking fun list on my own blog, and then be able to, go into the Goodreads Choice Awards in November and see which of my books, a small percentage might actually make it to, the buzzy contenders. So yes. Intros aside, I will now go ahead and share the 5 books published in 2025 I've decided to add as contenders for what I might read for my Mock Reads challenge in literary/general fiction. And a lot of them are actually translated, which makes this an apropos video to make in August, which is Women in Translation Month, but it probably decreases their chances of making it onto the Goodreads Choice Awards. So, what do you know? So the first book I'm putting on my list is We Would Never by Tova Mirvis, which was one of my anticipated releases I talked about, I think, in the beginning of the year, because Tova Mirvis has been a favorite author of mine. One of my first videos I made on BookTube, in fact, was going through, all of the books of hers I've read, and it's been a while since she's published, and now she's come out with this, which I think if it makes it to the Goodreads Choice Awards, it would be the mystery suspense sort of categories, but I'm not quite sure it's actually popular enough to make it there. But for me, she's a favorite author, and I'm curious to see what she's been up to and what she wanted to write about. So this is definitely on my list. And for a little more context, this is a family story inspired by a real-life murder centered around a close-knit Jewish family in Florida whose seemingly perfect facade crumbles when a contentious divorce leads to a murder investigation. Next, I'm going to talk about MISOPHONIA by Dana Vownickel, which actually I'm doing a little bit more research now, and I think I misinterpreted a few points of the novel, namely that this is about a German Jewish teenager who spends the summer, I thought, in Israel, because she has an Israeli parent, but instead she spends the summer with her grandparents in Chicago. And so, yeah, slightly different. I have the feeling it might be a little bit biting or jaded, but it is a coming-of-age novel about complicated family dynamics and intercultural realities. And it's a German translation, which is exciting for me because I don't read a lot of original German books in translation. The translator is Adrian Nathan West. Next, I'm going to go ahead and spoil my upcoming August book haul video and hold up Happy New Year's by Maya Arad. I believe this is her second book that's been published, or translated, I should say, into English. This is translated from the Hebrew by Jessica Cohen, who I think did her first book, and it's also by New Vessel Press as the publisher. I really liked her first book of 3 novellas that were interconnected, and so I definitely wanted to give her next book a try. And this is going to be, I think, a ruminative book about Israeli expat living in America and writing letters home about the experiences. And it's about, I guess, in a way, the relationship between her and a friend. And it's going to, I think, be epistolary throughout. And so very literary conceits going on here by an author I'm eager to continue on with. Going a little more into the thriller vibe, I believe, we have Hunting in America by Tehila Hakimi. And this was translated from the Hebrew by Joanna Chen. This is also about an Israeli expat moving to America, possibly for job-related reasons, but I think it's supposed to be much more biting about the realities of how a job becomes so, like, all-consuming to the character, and the character turns to hunting wild animals for some sort of solace or stress relief or identity marker of some sort, and I believe this is all supposed to connect more broadly with themes about, well, I'll go from the back, everyday violence that haunts countries and one woman's tenuous grasp on reality. So I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of this cover design, but hopefully I'll be a fan of the book. And finally, I actually hauled this book in my last book haul from July. It's my library book haul book. This is a love story by Jessica Soffer, and it is a story about a couple that is aging in years, and one might be, you know, really nearing the end of her life after a certain diagnosis. And it's just about ruminating on their life, and particularly around Central Park in New York, and I think Central Park might even be a character in and of itself. And yeah, it's one of those sort of thoughtful literary novels, I hope. Although when I talked about this in my last book haul video, I forgot that I actually did read another Jessica Soffer book years and years ago now, and it didn't leave much of an impression, even at the time. But I have to say, I just decided to go on vibes with this one, or, you know, how I found this book, I think in an Hey Alma article, and I thought it sounded intriguing and up my alley for all of the literary pensiveness, so I have it from the library, so I should go ahead and give it a go. And that about covers it for me now. I will leave the Goodreads links for all of these books listed down below, as well as reviews for other books I've read by some of these authors. But I'd love to hear what buzzy literary and general books might appeal to you. I know a lot of mine are really sort of cross genres in a way, and in general, I'm only differentiating from general fiction when it comes to science fiction, fantasy, and historical fiction. So what do you know? But I hope to be back on this channel, speaking of backlist, to do my next Would You Read It challenge video, where I look at a BookTube prize ballad of yore, and I'm reading the first page of every fiction book that's been in contention for the BookTube prize. That's my goal, going ballad by ballad of the long lists, so stay tuned for that. And in the meantime, thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you next time.